June 23rd, 1944, 8:30 p.m., the Mountain State's deadliest tornado happened right here on Pleasant Hill in Shinston, West Virginia. The mountain has something to offer everyone across north central West Virginia in the wintertime, and that includes something that's totally tubular. Reporting from Pocahontas County, this is Scott Sincoff, WBOY 12 News. We are at the Meadowbrook Mall today. We did have this wonderful event with Mr. Snowbird here, and it was Tuesday with Toddlers. A group of about 30 to 40 kids came to the Meadowbrook Mall. We did the Snowbird Shuffle, shook our tail feather, and had fun. I'm Scott Sincoff, and on tonight's Restaurant Road Trip, we'll introduce you to an eclectic, healthy place in the heart of Upshur County. I'm Scott Sincoff. Coming up tonight on 12 News, we talk about how the wet weather recently has impacted the production of dry hay.
Weather continues to impact our farmers every single day as they put hay up to feed their cattle. And how do we get that hay just right for that livestock? Well, Scott Sincoff explains.
Over the past 100 years, hay has been one of the most important crops for farmers across the Mountain State. But because of above-average rainfall, it has been difficult for producers to get their forage put out correctly.
Well, we can't get it up because of the rain. Your hay's got to be dry if you're dry baling it.
And when dry baling your hay, the forecast needs to be just right.
We got clear skies. We've had low humidity for 3 days. Our temperatures is up in the 70s, maybe low 80s where we need it. We got a little bit of air movement. So if you're making dry hay, this is the weather we've been waiting for.
Now that the conditions are ideal, we can begin the 3-day process. On day 1, the grass has to be mowed and the field tedded to aerate and dry the hay. The farmer then puts the hay into windrows on day 2 and lets the forage dry out. Day 3 comes along, and the hay is then picked up by the hay baler, which creates the round shape of the bale. Once the hay is a massive cylinder, it is wrapped in a net and let out of the machine. Farmers say that it's very important to test the hay to make sure that the moisture level is 20% or less. So if it says low, you are good to go. The hay also has to be tested for nutrients to make sure that the cattle are being properly fed, because the hay only has a 1-year shelf life.
And the reason being is it lays there on the ground. It is going to draw moisture. Sunlight's going to work on it. Hawks can tear into it. Other things can come along and mess with it. And as it does that, it makes that shelf life shorter.
And with all the forage needed to feed the hungry cows, the buffet of hay needs to last as long as possible. Reporting in Monongalia County, I'm Scott Sincoff, 12 News.
Now, agriculture across north central West Virginia is blooming as we approach the end of the summer harvest.
But how does one of the freshest crops in the field measure up with Mother Nature? Scott Sincoff explains.
As the summer lingers in the Mountain State, growers typically produce hay as well as soybeans and corn. But one cash crop, though, is on the rise, and it doesn't come without its own controversy.
Cannabis is really the general plant. The difference between hemp and marijuana is going to be the THC levels.
For hemp to remain legal in the state, the strictly regulated cannabis plant has to remain at 0.3% THC or less. Otherwise, it is marijuana and has to be seized. And with over 175 legalized growers of cannabis registered in West Virginia in 2019, both farmers and the Department of Agriculture alike believe that the uptick of hemp is rampant across the wild and wonderful, partly because of the perfect climate for growth.
West Virginia, not a lot of people know this, is a great, almost like a miniature climate for the cannabis plant. We have the right combination of elevation, soil, humidity, and just the perfect amount of rain.
Because of the above-average rainfall we've seen across the Mountain State over the past 18 months, the cannabis plants are growing high and still have a ways to go. For cannabis to stay as hemp, ARCO says the plant has to remain in a light stress environment to stay under its THC threshold, as is the case with over 2,500 acres of it across the Mountain State.
When we started, we were about around the 40th to get our license, and so it's kind of new in West Virginia, and the CBD is kind of hitting like the high rise now.
Hemp is known for its health benefits as CBD oil and eases the pain of consumers who use the product. And through that and all the other innovations throughout the hemp industry, the buds will keep growing the family business. Reporting in Harrison County, I'm Scott Sincoff, 12 News.